At Foundation Baptist Church, we put a major emphasis on church history. Specifically, what we do in our evening services is we take 5 to 10 minutes and we focus on a character from church history and tell their story and try to get an inspiration to help us in our Christian life today. And because we put such an emphasis on church history, we want to cover some stories, some amazing stories about Christian missionaries, preachers, and just people in the body of Christ who have gone on before us and who fought the good fights, who have run the race, and we want to be inspired by their stories. Aside from the Bible, I believe the most beneficial piece of literature, style of literature, books that a Christian can consume, that a Christian can read and meditate on, is the biographies of other Christians. With that being said, we're going to read through John Paton, a book by Benjamin Unseth. This is a compilation of John Paton's own autobiography, his diaries, and its a condensed version in the Men of Faith series, published by Bethany House Publishers. We're going to go through this short book and just going to read through it, and we're going to try and just get a blessing from this amazing man's story of faithfulness. If you don't know about his life and his story, he was a missionary to the cannibals in the New Hebrides in the South Pacific region. And so I will read the introduction in this video, just a short introduction by Benjamin Unseth, and we will go through and slowly make our way through the book. The goal behind recording a reading of this book is to extend the blessing that my church receives on Sunday mornings from hearing about church history and trying to spread it to other Christians who may also receive a blessing. With that being said, let's read the introduction to the book, John Paton, compiled by Benjamin Unseth. John Paton spent his life preaching to cannibals when he was not running from them. Charles Spurgeon introduced him as the king of the cannibals. In Paton, he buried his family and friends on the islands of Tanna, escaping in seeming failure. On the neighboring Anawa, he endured similar disease and danger, but there God gave birth to a living church. John Paton lectured at Princeton, Oxford, and Cambridge universities. He met lords, earls, archbishops, and 2 United States presidents. He plays a significant role in mission history, rating a 4-page entry in Ruth Tucker's Mission Encyclopedia From Jerusalem to Irinjaya. He was renowned for his godliness. F.B. Meyer wrote of Paton, quote, "Surely he of all men must have gone to heaven in a chariot of fire. It is such a pleasure to think that in any small way I have been associated with him." End quote. In 1887, John Paton sat down and wrote the story of his life, from his birth in 1824 to 1862. Those first 380 pages were so popular, he quickly wrote Part 2, another 380 pages, on the period of 1862 to 1885. A decade later, he concluded his writings with Part 3, telling his story through 1898, another 100 pages. For this edition, the original autobiography has been distilled to 1/5 of its original bulk. The language has been updated to remove the barriers of archaic vocabulary and grammar. Paton's New Hebrides Islands are referred to under their modern name of Vanuatu. And this is all from the compiler, Benjamin Unseth. And that is the introduction to John Paton.